Hello all you wonderful people, welcome back to Lynch Paints, where I, Lynch, will be showing you guys how to paint a Tauntaun for Star Wars Legion, the tabletop battle game. So we're heading back to Hoth, so make sure you grab your thermals, every kind of warm clothing you have, watch out for them wampers, and let's get started. So then, our first step is of course to prime our model in a white acrylic spray, and then we're going to go along and apply a nice coat of apothecary white contrast paint over the miniature, and this will settle into all the recesses, especially on the fur, around the bags. So while we're applying the apothecary white paint onto the Tauntaun, we're just going to apply some onto the rider as well. So now that our contrast paint has dried, we're going to take some white scar and a nice fluffy brush. And what we're going to do is that we're just going to dry brush over the model. This will help to pick out all the raised areas on our lovely Tauntaun and any raised areas on the white armour of our rider as well. So, because the Tauntauns are more of a grey than a white, we're just going to add a layer of administratum grey or your standard mid-tone grey with a nice medium brush. And what we're going to do is that we're going to water it down so it's halfway between a paint and a wash, which is known as a glaze. So while our glaze is still drying, we're going to take some storm vermin fur or just a darker grey, and then we're just going to add the contrast back in again. So we're going to go underneath the model itself, just to add in a bit of shadowing. Then just add a little bit of light to this guy. I'm just going to add a touch of purple, just watered down just around his nostrils, around his lips. So then we're going to move on to the leather, and for this we're going to grab some Mornfang brown, mix in a little bit of Abaddon black, and with a medium-sized brush we're just going to very carefully do all the leather areas, so like these straps and the saddle and some of his weapon pouches as well, and the bedrolls on the back. So for the rest of the leather straps and areas, after mixing them with a bit of black with the Mornfang brown, I just went back over with just pure Mornfang brown, just to blend in a bit of a lighter shade. Then I went back over, mixing in a little bit of Talon sand for my highlights. Then for the bedrolls at the back, I just mixed in a bit of white with the Talon sand and gave it a little dry brush. And so now we're going to be looking more at the rider, so we're going to bring along our lovely Null oil, medium-sized brush, and what we're going to do, like we have done with the normal rebels and the vets, is that we're going to water down our Null oil, and then we're just going to apply it onto the legs of our miniature. And I'm going to go back over the horns just one last time with some Null oil, just to darken them up just that little bit more. So next I'm going to be applying some watered down Agrax Earthshade just to a few areas to create a little bit of diversity with different colour, shades and tones. So up next we're going to be looking at the buckles and the sort of other accessories. So we're going to grab some Iron Warriors and some Retribution armour. So we've got a nice dark silver and a nice bright shiny gold. So we'll take some of the silver, start out with that one first, and we're just going to pick out some of these little areas that have gone over with black first. And then same with the gold, just going to grab a smaller brush this time, as I'll be doing some of these tiny little buckles here at the back. Right, now we're going to be moving on to the rider's skin, so we're going to want some of this lovely Kislev flesh and a little bit of Genestealer purple, maybe, or maybe some darker purple, like this kind of purple. Can't see it. There it is, right there, that kind of shade. So we won't worry about the purples just yet. They're going to be more of a glaze or like a wash afterwards. But we're going to grab our Kislev flesh and a nice teeny tiny brush, because we only have a teeny tiny surface area to work on. If my camera will focus, thank you very much. I'm going to start out really nicely, working with thin layers. We are going to apply a nice shade of Gilliman Blue over his goggles. Just in there. I'm going to take some of that out, just a little bit. You can always add in more later, but it'll be difficult to take less out when it's dry. So we're going to leave that to dry. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to work back over the white cloth, just pure white, just to make it look a little bit fresher. So now that I've done that, I'm going to move over onto our glaze for the face. So I'm just going to take some of this darker purple and really water it down by quite a bit. You can kind of see there, kind of like a wash. A little bit of the lighter purple as well. And then we're going to just apply it very carefully onto the face. Then we'll leave that to dry, and then we'll work back into it again. But while we have our purples and our paints nice and flowing freely, we're going to look at the mouth of the Tauntaun. So we're going to pick a jaw to start with, any jaw. Just going to do the bottom first. Right, so the glaze is dried. So we're going to go back into the face with a teeny tiny brush, not that brush, this brush, and some of our Kislev flesh. I'm just going to pick out the raised areas. So now we're going to grab the black and some white, and with our teeny tiny brush we're going to paint the eyes. So this is going to be quite tricky. It will require a very steady hand and a bit of guesswork, because the faces on these, the eyes aren't moulded, unlike with say like GW Games Workshop faces. These have just got like little tiny pits. So we're going to do the black first. So now with the white, what we want to do is we want to create two tiny dots. leaving a little black patch in the middle. So I'm just going to do the Tauntauns eyes and then move on to the base. So with the Tauntaun, he's only going to be, pretty sure in the film it's just beady black eyes. So for the base, we're going to keep it nice and simple. We're going to just grab some Storm Vermin fur. I do love this grey. It's a great grey. And then we're going to run it pretty much all over the base. And next we're going to add in a little bit of lighter grey, and we're just going to go over the stones. So now that the base is dry, we're going to go over to the final piece really, which is to add in our snow. So we need our snow and we need our bitch brush. So get a nice clump on your brush. You can see that the base before I add this isn't great, but so long as we have some kind of colour underneath that will correspond with the rocks and the kind of the general vibe, it doesn't really matter because we're going to be covering it in lovely, lovely snow. So the last thing to do now is just to frame the base. I'm just using a black acrylic paint just to do this. Probably need about 2 coats and it should be ready for the battlefield. Insofar as the issue of the lines for the firing arcs are concerned, what I've done is that I've just stuck 4 little adhesive grass tufts just where the lines would have met up to, so I can still use the firing arcs if need be. Or you could use rocks, skulls, or whatever small object you like. And so there you have it. This is how I painted the Tauntaun for Star Wars Legion, the tabletop battle game. I really hope that you all enjoyed this video and painted along with me as well, and if you did, drop me a like and subscribe if you haven't done already. That would be massively appreciated. If you wanted to pick up one of these lovely models for yourself, I do have an affiliate link with Wayland Games down in the description below. There are 2 of these in a kit, but I thought I would get at least the first one painted up for you before I painted the second one up. Just so then you guys can see how I do it. Once I've got the second one painted, there will be stills of that over at my Instagram page at Lynch Paints. And also if you wanted to help support me even further, then I do have a Ko-fi page. A link will be in the description as well. So, without further ado, stay safe, stay beautiful, and we'll see you next time.